Welcome to the Economic Development Council meeting, November 18th, 2021. For a matter of quorum, we'll just go through. I'll say your last name, and if you could say here, that would be fantastic. I'm going to read it as I see it. Danielson.
Here.
Boyer.
Here.
Whitman.
Here.
Spencer.
Here.
Holbrook.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
And Lopes.
Here.
Okay, and Lamb is here. So we have a full quorum. And we're just going to jump right into the agenda. So we have we have at the top of the agenda, Think Easton. So Matt, why don't you take us away? See what we discussed. Recap what we discussed last time, and what you need from us, because we talked about, if I recall correctly, making it a kind of a abbreviated version of what the Discover Easton app is.
Yeah, so we had talked a little bit in our last meeting about kind of combining the missions of the Discover Easton app, you know, the Easton Outside kind of campaign and website, and the Think Easton website as it currently exists. You know, the Think Easton website we've done a lot of work on in the last year or so, but it is still pretty text heavy. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of information about the town there. It reads in some ways more like you know, encyclopedia article about the town than maybe like a living, breathing kind of guide to what's going on. So I had very ambitiously proposed coming back to you guys with a site map, sort of combining those campaigns on the website. I regret to inform you, I have not had time to do that. This is the absolute busiest time of year for retail, as I'm sure you all know. Mm-hmm. So we've been slammed at work. But the good news is I'll be out from under that boom, you know, next week once everything's been launched. So I think I can really light a fire under myself to have this for our last meeting of the year, and mm-hmm. kind of that's a good proposal maybe to go into next year with thinking about the future of these various campaigns, you know, Discover Easton, Easton Outside, and the Think Easton website. The biggest thing I'll need from everybody, and obviously I have nothing for you right now, but right, it is feedback, and I do think that is maybe a process we could all start thinking about. You know, when you think about the most important things from the Easton Outside campaign, the Discover Easton app, from the Think Easton website, you know, what are the kind of top 3 things you want to see as a resident of the town, you would be interested in seeing on a kind of town economic development website, or even more of a kind of like Easton business guide website? And what are things you think local businesses would really want to see represented on the website, either as current businesses who are in Easton, or, you know, we talk a lot about attracting businesses to come open up in town. What are things that would be really valuable for them? I know we've talked a lot about kind of building out a bigger resources page, making that maybe a bigger focus, cutting down on some of the other stuff folks need to read through. I think being a more visual website is kind of always a good rule of thumb. It's easier for people to parse.
Yeah,
so,
I think you're absolutely spot on in making it simpler and more concise and more abbreviated. The last thing we want to do is make this website bigger. One of the things that drives me nuts is when people, they think that they need to add more to be more effective. And the truth is they actually need to reduce the amount of stuff they have out there to become more effective. Because right now I'm not even suggesting whatsoever that it's too cluttered at all, because I don't think it is. But, you know, for things that we add to, we can also take away some other things. And, you know, what do you guys think about that? What Matt said and what I just threw out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a good approach.
I agree. I think you're exactly right, Mark. Like there's the law of diminishing returns applies to like online content. When you think about just volume, right? We all see so much stuff online every single day. It can be really hard to actually get the information out of it that we need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I think like I look at it as like the Think Easton website is. It's, you know, I look at it as a center hub that will push you to where you need to be. It doesn't need to capture everything that you're looking for. It just needs to give you the directions to get to where you want to be, whether it's a town website, Think Easton, whether it's Discover Easton, whether it's the chamber, just stuff like that. Because I don't think that this site is heavily traveled. And, I think maybe one of the reasons is because we have an economic development page. We have Discover Easton. We have Easton Outside. We have a lot of things that are all in the same vein, and we need to kind of reduce that. So, we are dropping Easton Outside and moving to Discover Easton. And I don't think we need to bulk this site up anymore. We just need to actually make it more concise. Okay. All right. So anybody else have any more comments or questions about Think Easton before Matt, gets through this busy season and starts tackling? Are you going to do wireframes? Or are you going to do how are you gonna...
I'll probably start with it's a good question. I'll probably start with a kind of sitemap outline, right? Like really like a bolded list, like here are the main pages and sub pages we want to see. And then I think all of this, we can collaborate on, we can post in Google Docs for feedback. The more wireframey design elements are certainly not my strong suit, but I can definitely take a crack at them. A lot of the work I've done so far has been kind of repurposing or tweaking the pages that already exist on Think Easton. So
I know wireframes moves you into a whole other level of what's going on. So
yeah.
And that's usually paid work when you're changing wireframes.
But I think we can start with a kind of the skeleton, right, of like what are the pages we want to see in the sub pages under there, in terms of like what are the really, really high level pieces of information we want to communicate, and then start building out the content from there. And I think that'll definitely be a collaborative process.
Okay, awesome. All right.
I would just like one comment. We were looking at Think Easton in the town offices just quickly, and there is the page that has all the council members, and that's outdated. I don't know if that's something we want to continue to have as part of the website, but it will definitely require. We had everyone submit pictures of themselves for that, and like a brief. I think we have a brief bio for everybody.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 sentences. That's a good catch, Stephanie. Yeah. Thank you. Maybe that's something that can be an action item for the December meeting, is to get that fully updated in terms of folks to remove and folks to add.
Yeah, and just another comment. Most of the pictures are I think are kind of like, they're not professional photos, but they're kind of like that headshot. And one in particular is like an action shot, which I actually like. The person whose it is might, but I think we want to kind of decide what should the pictures say, our individual pictures. Is there some kind of message about who we are or how we're involved with economic development that our pictures could convey?
So expand upon that if you could.
So for example, my LinkedIn profile picture I updated last year when we were doing the Easton Outside campaign, because I wanted to convey I'm a town planner, think about the future, I'm involved with economic development. So the picture I used was the one taken of me at Langwater Farm with the Easton Outside Farm sign. Okay.
So I think I understand what you're saying. Try and point it more in the direction of professional or in the vein of what you do for the town.
Yeah, like maybe, for example, maybe John's picture would be one of him doing one of the tours inside his facility.
Action shot, John. Okay. So maybe we can all think about that. And I know there are a couple people, myself, Dan.
Mark at the holiday festival.
Yeah.
with the new signs.
Well, we'll get to that. But yeah, I do agree with you. Something more along the lines of that, or at the very least, a professional, not a professional photograph, but something a little more appropriate. So, okay, we can put that in for our next meeting. And if anybody has any pictures they want to submit to Matt in the meantime that they think fall in that vein, go ahead. All right, so next item on the agenda is EDC member update. I think Jonathan and Chris are the newest members, and we also we anticipated by now that the planning and zoning appointment would have been done. However, it is not. If you recall, we are gaining a new member, which will be planning and zoning, the impetus behind it was so that over the course of our next year, we can sink our teeth into some districts, try to understand what's going on in some districts, and be able to participate or offer our thoughts, and just understand it more. We are the Economic Development Council, and if areas are or are not being economically developed, we should know what's going on. Why not? What can we do? And that's, like I said, that the impetus of that is as we move out of COVID, for the past year, we've been in just help small business mode. And now we're sinking our teeth into something a little bit more and trying to elevate our contributions for a long-term benefit of Easton. So that was the purpose behind that appointment. And I believe, Stephanie, I got your email. I think are they having a meeting tonight?
No, they're meeting on Monday night,
Okay,
and it's
Monday.
on the agenda for Monday.
Okay.
And if I'd like to also expand on what you said about the role that the representative can play. It also helps in understanding what development is going on and what we're seeing occur, the interest in the districts, weigh it against zoning changes that have been made to try to spark economic growth, or for the board to kind of work with the planning board representative on, are there additional zoning changes that would help work in some of these other areas.
Mm-hmm. And
so what's working
us,
from a zoning perspective, what still might need to be tweaked over time.
And to share with us in the community how hard this actually is, how not easy it is to, it's not waving a wand and developing an area. It takes years and years of hard work. And I think this group being plugged into that will just enhance this group's ability to contribute long-term to Easton. So that is, and I said it in our last meeting and I'll say it again today, I wish that they were present so that we could be updated on those areas, but that is my plan for the direction of this group for the next year, to really educate ourselves on those economic zones and anything else. So it's not just, the bulk of it is those economic zones, but there are things that happen not in those economic zones that could greatly contribute to Easton. So I'm not, trying to just put it in those areas, but I know those are the three main areas. So, okay. And next item on the agenda is to accept the meeting minutes of October 18th, 2021. Did everyone have a chance to take a look at that? Make any comments, questions? Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Spencer. All right. All those in favor, roll call vote. Stephanie?
Aye.
Bruce?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Jonathan?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
And aye. All right. So those minutes are approved. So Easton Outside is the next item on the agenda, and this is the transition to Discover Easton. We had a Easton Outside meeting, which hopefully we'll start to rename Discover Easton, which is a meeting that we help set up and then just goes on its own. And so the goal in that was we're gonna start a campaign to replace the Easton Outside signs with Discover Easton signs, and they are available. And some businesses in town are going to participate and take videos of this all occurring. So, it'll be a video of somebody taking down a sign and replacing a sign, and it'll look like a passing of the torch, so to speak. And that's going to be that's happening this month and into next month. Also, what we have is we have our festival coming up, the Holiday Festival, which is December 3rd, I think, Saturday. It's a one-day event. And what we want to do is we want to have a table, economic development table / Discover Easton table, where we talk about the app. We just kind of meet people from the community, tell them what we do, and tell them what we have in store, and maybe even share with them how the app works. So that table will be set up for probably, I would say, 2, 3, 4 hours max during the holiday festival. And I would like it if we could have people on this group contribute an hour to sitting at that table. So Stephanie, do you know what time that the festival starts? You're on mute. Stephanie, you're on mute.
I think it's a 10 o'clock start, Mark, somewhere.
I don't know what time.
Start set up around 8.
Okay. So yeah, I will set up, if somebody could help me set up just one person, and I will be there, I'll set up at 8 and I'll be there for the first hour to 11. And then if somebody could do like 11 to 12 and then 12 to 1 and then 1 to 2, that would be fantastic. That's usually the bulk of the crowds. So who here can contribute an hour on that Saturday?
I definitely can. Where is it?
Matt, it's in your neighborhood. It's right downtown.
Yeah, I figured I wouldn't have a good excuse to.
It's around the Rockery, and it's from 10 to 6.
Walk there. Yeah, I'd be happy, Mark, to help set up, to do some of the shifts in the morning. I want to double check my calendar, but I don't think I have any conflicts on. You said Saturday 12/4.
Yeah, well, 12 to 2 is when I'd like the table to be. 10 to 2 is when I'd like the table to be there. Matt,
right, but December 4th, right?
Yes. Is that the Saturday?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Saturday.
It's funny. I'm looking at the website and I don't see the date on it.
It's that first Saturday, which.
Okay, so the 4th, yeah.
Is the 4th, yeah. So Matt, how about you and I do 10 to 11?
Yeah, that works.
And Stephanie, do we need to reach out to the Lions to say, hey, can we set up a table somewhere?
Oh, yes. I thought you had already done that.
You know what? I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that right after I get off this meeting.
I'm sure they'll be happy to have us.
Okay. And who can do 11 to 12?
On the 4th?
So Mark, I can get back to you on this. The playoffs start in 2 weeks for colleges. So let me just see where my son's team is. If I'm not going, I'll go. Mm-hmm. If they make it that far, I may have to take a rain check.
Okay. Well, I'll wait to hear from you, Chris. Can anyone else tell me now? I'm sorry.
I believe I could do 11.
I'm sorry, John?
I can do 11 to 12. I can do 11 to 12.
How about 12 to 1? Dan, you're awful quiet over there.
Hey, Mark, you know what? Good work, but I'm traveling. We got a couples weekend that Friday night, so I don't know what time I'm going to be back on Saturday, but I'll let you know.
Okay, great. Jonathan, I haven't heard you.
Well, so I will get back. My wife has a booth at the same thing. So she's a realtor and they have their booth. I just got to find out what time she's there so that I can alternate so that someone's watching my kids at home. Okay. But yeah, I should be able to for some period of time, but I'll get back to you, Mark, and just want to confirm with her when she's there. Okay.
Totally understand. And I don't mean to put people on the spot, but I mean to put people on the spot.
I want to.
This is going to be so hard,
Send an email to the group so we can get it.
Absolutely will.
Mark, if you have a time frame that no one else is covering, I'm happy to fill in.
Okay, and we still got Dottie, who Dottie I know will be able to do it for at least an hour. So we'll all group, we'll figure it out. We'll get it together, and we'll represent Easton economic development in some manner on that day. Okay, so that is the Holiday Festival EDC table update. District updates. We have no district updates because the appointment from Planning and Zoning.
I could give some updates.
Awesome. All right, even better.
Seeing as I work so closely with the planning board.
This is true. Stephanie, I apologize. I should not have said that. Wasn't thinking.
So I'll start with the Queeset Commercial District. The big project that has been approved there, and we've been waiting for things to happen, is 661 Washington Street, of course. We are hearing there may be something going on there. So we're keeping our eyes on that. But the bigger news is really more around the Furnace Village District, which is probably a lot of the locals, the Five Corner District down to Shaw, down to the Highland Plaza, where the Hannafords used to be, now Big Wise, along that corridor. The new zoning has sparked a lot of interest in that district, and we have had several conversations with different developers on different parcels of land there. One in particular, and it's just outside the formal Furnace Village District, but is 20 South Street, where Bill Humphrey is proposing 20 units of residential housing using the flexible development. The sewer district was expanded to take advantage of that, which is a positive for the town. That will bring more residents to the district that can avail themselves of the services and businesses that are located there. But we have several other parcels where the developers are interested in some type of mixed use. So we'll keep you apprised of that. Then 555 South Street itself, the new zoning allows smaller lot sizes. It also allows a density bonus if you're preserving an existing historic house. So Rick Lincoln has purchased that property and is proposing a duplex. That's going before the planning board Monday night, their Monday night meeting, a duplex, and he has already divided that lot into 3 lots. So there'll be new development on the other 2 lots, single family houses. So that's, again, the zoning seems to be working in that regard. And again, that will bring more residents to the district and will preserve the historic structure, which always has a positive economic effect. If you're preserving historic buildings and they're being kept up, then that brings vitality to your district.
Stephanie, what is the best potential outcome for that meeting on Monday night with 555 Washington?
I think what's going to happen is it will be continued, but the best and expected outcome ultimately will be a special permit. So it is a hearing. Mm-hmm. I think Monday night is just going to be the first meeting. My comments were related to parking and making sure there's sufficient parking and safe egress off the site. It also needs, because the zoning requires a review by the Historical Commission, he will need to go to the Historical Commission for a review of what's being proposed and get their sign off. So I think it's at least a couple meetings out, but again, mm-hmm. I see no reason that it won't ultimately and fairly quickly be approved. Okay,
that's outstanding. And so we covered 5 corners. Anything downtown?
No new news other than I think we talked about this at the last meeting. The roadway work has substantially been completed for the streetscape improvements there. People probably have noticed this. It's funny, there are some people who have complained about the speed bumps, but all the businesses in the area are happy to see them there in the crosswalk, in the new crosswalk from Sullivan Avenue. So,
it's funny. I live downtown, and I have to drive down Main Street to come to work and to come home from work, and then even to take the kids to karate and just get out and about. So I drive over those speed humps every single day, multiple times a day. I have 0 problems with them. I think they're fantastic. What they do is they slow down traffic.
Yeah.
I find the people those that are complaining because it slows them down. It's like, well, that's the intended purpose. So I think they're fantastic. I think it looks great down there. And to add to that, Stephanie, so after this meeting at 12 o'clock, we have our first wayfinding meeting, which is so that, as much as the construction is done downtown, we also have a meeting where we're going to discuss wayfinding, which is the specific signage particular to Easton, and it's going to start in this district, which there's been money set aside from the grant to pay for that. Though the construction is complete, we're still not done. We still have some work to do, and it's exciting work. So you're going to see some signage, maybe, I would think maybe in a year or so. But that is exciting for downtown.
Yeah, those speed bumps and crosswalks make it so much easier to turn in and out of the neighborhoods off of Main Street. And I feel much safer walking my dog downtown and trying to cross the street and not getting potentially hit by somebody going 50 miles an hour. So yeah. I'm all in favor of them. Yeah.
And there are bus stops downtown too. So,
my
kids had a bus stop downtown before those speed humps went in. And I cannot begin to tell you how many times I wanted to jump out in the street and yell at people driving 35 miles an hour downtown to race to work while there are kids at a bus stop. It was really dangerous. And I think that those speed humps have contributed to that area outstanding. So, all right, that's the district updates. Does anybody have any questions on the district updates?
Sure. Stephanie, question. The updates that you provided were more around the residential side or mixed use. How about the commercial side? Are there any planning and zoning updates from a commercial perspective, especially down near, what is it, that Target and that whole new development area now that they updated the sewage?
Yeah, again, and I think we'll see this because there really is such a need for residential, and the consultants that we've worked with in the past that have done market analysis, you need residential to drive your commercial because you need people to go and avail themselves of the services and use the businesses. So the development that's being proposed is the mixed use. So it will have commercial and there will be some residential mixed in with it. At this moment, any new residential commercial development, we haven't, there's nothing that's on the radar right now.
So the other thing too is, so Easton as a community is a pass-through community, meaning that we do have a lot of people who pass through Easton to go to other areas. So I understand the residential piece, but I know there's a lot of people that come through and it has nothing to do with residency. I'll give you an example. Company I work for, there's quite a bit of folks that have been, they love Farmer's Daughter, et cetera. So the reason why I'm asking about commercial, if we could anchor some really nice boutiques, et cetera, that would just drive, e-commerce anyway, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other side.
So Chris, on that front, I think what you're going to see, that's certainly the intent of the zoning, both the new zoning at the Queeset Commercial District or fairly recent zoning in the Queeset Commercial District, which is along 138 between Belmont Street and Depot Street, and certainly along Foundry Street in the area that we're talking about. The some of that, so the new development, there are also design standards that need to be met to make the businesses and the new development attractive to invite people to stop that are passing through. Right now, that if you look at both 138 and Foundry Street, those are really designed either the way development has occurred as destination places. Someone knows they're going to go somewhere. Or as you said, they're used as pass-throughs and people really are just interested in driving through, and the roadways are constructed such that that's what it's encouraging. Our very long-term plans for both areas are roadway improvements that will put sidewalks there so that it'll encourage pedestrian traffic, bicycle lanes and traffic management to make that, to help build more of a neighborhood, meaning a neighborhood with residences, but also the commercial aspects of it, to attract people and invite people to stop. I mean, I know when I'm driving through, during my times in periods of commuting, if I drove through an area that had an appeal to it, it looked like it had some commercial and it was interesting, I was a lot more likely to stop there and use those and frequent those businesses as I was passing through. We do have a new Starbucks and there is, I'm glad you pushed that, because we have a new Starbucks that I need to go out and see. The last time I went up, probably 2 months ago, the site work was still being done, so I don't know how much of the building itself is complete, on Robert Drive in that Highland Plaza area. They should be opening shortly. And I understand that there is going to be a new business going in the on the west side of the property. It looks like McGuire's Pub and Grill and that plaza all sit on the same piece of land. It's actually 2 pieces of land, but there's an existing, it was an old bank branch, small bank branch there, and that there will be a business, some type of food business going in there shortly. I've heard about it. We haven't seen anything yet from a filing standpoint, from site plan.
Well, buzz is good. I'll take buzz right now. If there's a buzz about that.
Yeah. So, and another, I mean, I talk about this a lot because I think it's amazing, and people all over town are talking about this. All Town, the convenience store gasoline station on the corner there, that I think it was a mobile station, right? It was that previously, and a new owner took it over, and they completely redid their product offering. They updated the exterior. It's much more attractive and inviting. And they have what they claim to be, and I've been there. The food is really good, a much more healthy, like sandwich and coffee and pastries option. And even their processed products, their packaged processed products, have a more organic and healthy appeal to them. And that's drawing a lot of traffic into their business. So who would have thought a convenience store would be the buzz of the town?
Their smoothies are really, really good. Shockingly good for a gas station.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the people are so friendly in there. Like, you can tell I don't know, it's like the Stepford wives of, convenience store employees. Except they smile. The Stepford wives didn't smile, but they exude that they love their job and they care about the business and they care about their customers.
So last thing, Stephanie, is, so you mentioned that we're working on roads and sidewalks. Man, I'd like to make one suggestion. We have a treasure in Easton that I don't think a lot of people use. It's called Borderland Park.
Yep.
But it's very difficult for children and young adults to get there if they don't have their a license. So it would be nice to have all sidewalks to Borderland.
So first off, let me say, thousands of people actually do go to Borderland. But you're right. While there are people who walk from the neighborhoods, pretty much 90% of the people that go there drive. We did submit an application for a Complete Streets grant to fund sidewalks on both sides of Lincoln Street. That from where the sidewalk ends, which is roughly around the Friends Road, to Bay Road. So if that grant comes through, that will happen, but we are continuing to push for that and look for ways to construct that.
Connectivity is paramount in Easton, and we've been working on it for a long time and spent a lot of money and received a lot of grants. So just to just to share with you, Chris, and anybody else, once all the construction is done on the corridor of 123 that connects 5 corners to Queesit, which is 138, there will be sidewalks that will connect Target to 5 corners to where the monument is, then to downtown, and then also to Queesit. There will be complete walking connectivity from all of these locations. So, and this was thought of years ago. This is, I believe, Stephanie, I believe this is in the master plan to connect all these areas through walkability, and eventually through bicycles. So that is absolutely paramount in future planning, and the work has begun, and a lot of it's underway, and a lot of it's complete. So that's always something we're striving for.
And Chris, I don't know where you live in town. And if you're familiar with, there have been a couple of Boy Scout projects, Eagle Scout projects to extend trails, walking paths that aren't along the sidewalk. I mean, the sidewalk is still something that we feel is important. It was identified in the Complete Streets prioritization plan when we developed that, when the town adopted Complete Streets. So, you know, that we still will keep our eye on that and move that. Again, I'm hoping that we get this larger grant. But there is a walking trail from Chickadee Lane that, I direct you to the website because you can see the trail maps there, but it connects I believe it connects from the town pool over to Chickadee Lane and then further. And the idea is that a trail be finished that would lead over to borderland behind those residential properties. And the one on Chickadee Lane came about because the landowner donated an easement for the trail to continue over their land. So, you know, that's something else if people are interested in helping extend the trail system and are willing to place an easement over their land. I'm sorry if I said lease, it's an easement over their land that would allow extension of those trail systems.
Okay. That's a very thorough update on district. Stephanie, you have a lot of information there. So that is outstanding. Thank you. And if we could move things along, it's 11:40. We want to end this by 12, maybe even a little bit earlier today. EDC website update, which we already discussed, and then general outreach and support. Discover Easton Business app. So I think next week is Thanksgiving. I think that the very first foray into getting signs, banners, flyers, all that stuff out will be at the Lions event on December 4th. So we'll start there. And then from there, we have Small Business Saturday. When's Small Business Saturday, Stephanie?
It is the 27th. And
November?
yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Yes,
right. Yeah.
yes. And
Thanksgiving.
we just posted, Dottie had posted a flyer or notice about Small Business Saturday on the Facebook page. And we just added she used the standard branding that you can get on the website for Small Business Saturday. And we added another one, a little more personalized. I mean, it's a stock photo that we're using, but it also is directing people to discover Easton. So if you haven't seen that, it's on the Economic Development Council Facebook page.
And I would encourage anyone and everyone to get some of the flyers. And in your travels, maybe one a week, maybe 2 a week, you know, if you're going to pick up some, takeout somewhere, or you got to go to a store, have a flyer with you and see if you can talk to the manager and share with them, hey, this is the Discover Easton app. Tell them a little bit about it. Say, would you mind, taping it in your window? Because it actually has a QR code so people can download it. I know I still got to pick up some flyers from you, Stephanie, so I can.
Yeah, and we also have a number of signs. We have a lot of signs right now. The yard signs, which you can use the stakes to put them in your yard, or put them in your window, business
Mhm.
windows. So
Yeah.
Where
So,
do you get the signs? Where do you get the signs and the
from
flyers?
me, if you contact me, I'm happy to deliver if we can work that into the schedule, or just let me know a time that you're going to be coming to pick them up, and I'll either be here or someone from my staff will be here.
Okay, great.
And we have flyers.
Great.
I'll be by in the next few days, Stephanie. I know I keep saying that, but I gotta be. All right, so-
Everybody is busy.
Yeah, and everybody, please, if you could reach out to Stephanie and say, hey, let me just grab two signs, 2-yard signs and 10 flyers. I'm not saying set the bar grab 20 signs and you got to get rid of 20, just 2, make it small, because add it all up, it'll get us far.
Yeah, I'll try to swing by maybe tomorrow afternoon, Stephanie, and grab a sign for sure.
Oh, we're closed after.
You're closed? All right, well,
Sorry.
Well, there you go.
On Fridays, we close it.
I tried. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Although, I mean, if it's not too late in the, I'm usually here after 12:30, but.
Okay.
Okay. Stephanie, can you tell us a little bit about the SEED virtual workshop?
I'm sorry, I really can't. I just posted it. It's, I think most people are familiar with SEED. It is an organization that helps small businesses get started. And this was a workshop that they were hosting to, again, give additional guidance and assistance to small businesses.
Okay. Dan, do you know about that? Something tells me is this in your wheelhouse?
Yeah, but I've got to get on a work call. I'm sorry. Let's catch up on it. I'm sorry, everybody. I was just going to say I've got to hop off, but soon.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so we'll table that. Massachusetts Conference for Women Grant Opportunity for Women-Owned Business. Or is that women? Is that, should that say WBE?
Women-owned business, WOB. I'm sure that's how they had it on their flyer.
I always saw it formally through the state. You have MBE, WBE, which is minority business.
Women business enterprise. Yeah, this was
Mhm.
the Massachusetts Conference for Women is different than the state designation. This was its own organization. And I think Dottie posted this out there.
Okay.
Dottie is on top of a lot more grant opportunities and everything. That's one of the things regional planning agencies, that they can provide that level of assistance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything about Biz M Power Grant Program?
Again, it's another grant program that's available.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is, as these grant opportunities become available, post them out on the Economic Development Council page so that people can see them and hopefully apply for them.
Okay, so for anybody listening, or if anybody part of this group wants to share, the Easton Economic Development Council Facebook page, these grants are all posted there, and I'm sure there's some literature, some information, and some links to apply. So that is a valuable resource. And that brings us to the end of the agenda. Does anybody have any comments or questions while we're here? No? Okay, so our next scheduled meeting is it really December 9th? Yeah, that's the second Thursday. So December 9th, same time, same place. And hopefully by then we'll have our planning and zoning person with us. And Matt, I don't know. I mean, December 9th is 3 weeks away. I don't know how far you'll get. And I know you're very busy. So
I can definitely make some headway for sure.
Okay. So we'll do a recap of how the Lions event, the holiday festival, the feedback from the community about Discover Easton. Hopefully we'll be a little bit farther along with that. We'll talk to Matt about what he needs from us. And we will talk more about the districts and anything that's going on in town from, that can be shared, from commercial to residential to mixed use, all of it. So that looks like that'll fill our agenda for December 9th. What do you think, Stephanie?
Yep.
Okay. Does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Bruce, motion. Anybody want to make a second?
Second.
All right, second, Danielson. All right, we'll go around the room. Danielson,
Aye.
Whitman,
Aye.
Spencer,
Aye.
Lopes,
Hi.
Boyer,
Aye.
and Holbrook.
Aye.
And I, Mark. So meeting adjourned. We will see you December 9th. And please email Stephanie about when you can be, or and email me about when you can be available on the 4th. Take
Great.
care.
Thanks,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody. Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.